I shouldn't say I want to believe that because it makes it sound like I'm on his side, like he didn't do nothing wrong. I just don't feel like the things that he did were against the law. That's my own personal opinion. That's a whole nother rabbit hole that we could go down.
But the one thing I thought he
Wait, hold on.
if Cassie told you
He didn't break the law.
or Jano told you they didn't want to do a freak off and you kind of like low key threaten them, like you need to do this freak off or it's going to be so and so and so and so, that kind of sound like some illegal stuff to me. It's just me. I don't know.
Well, it says he was found guilty in transporting individuals to prostitution.
But no, I'm talking about the coercion, kidnapping. When they don't want to do these freak offs, they're telling you they weren't that.
But he didn't get convicted on that, did he?
No, he didn't. But to me, some of the evidence is
He was found guilty on that. He was found guilty.
2 charges. What were the 2?
One was transporting individuals for prostitution.
Okay.
Then I have to go to the actual article to tell you what's the other one.
Well, that's cap anyway because. That's cap because and I don't know if you guys saw the Boosie interview where Boosie said it, where Boosie's like, if that's the case, we all going to jail because everybody, like you said, that's looking at then flew somebody out. And so if I flew you from one place to another and we end up having intercourse, then I just trafficked you. And that's not even Boosie saying every sports athlete, every entertainer. Sorry, that's not even specific to them because it's a dude that's good with his money that work at UPS. And he could fly somebody out too.
They could. Look, so they convicted him on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. That's what the charges were for. So it was like we're acquitting you of everything else, but we gotta get you with something though.
And that's the only
gotta
thing.
get you with something.
Because I don't understand why they kept him. Why they didn't give him a bail. Like
that was the part that I think is kind of crazy because.
And that's why I think his sentence going to be longer than I think it should be. They playing a different kind of game.
You might be right about that. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him like O.J. Simpson for the baseball cards. Maybe they gave him like
something crazy over baseball
cards, right?
Crazy
because they didn't get him on the lap. Right. And so my thing is when the district attorney for a state takes a case on, they're already like they only take cases that they can win. And now this is a scenario where they ain't do too well. It was supposed to be 5 charges.
And they got to get a W some kind of way.
Yeah, so they got to get a W some kind of way.
Right.
It's like you didn't get this man bail out of spite. He's not a threat. He's not a threat to people that he's actually had no communication or dealing with for years now.
Yeah.
And the tough thing about the coercion piece was they couldn't nail that down because Cassie and they're like, yeah, I called them up. Yeah, I bought the flight tickets. Yeah, I set up the next one. It's almost like she had to.
It's like she was, even though it seemed like he was facilitating all of the activities for the freak offs through.
He was the CEO, but she was the operations manager.
Operations manager. She was
legit done.
But I think
that's crazy.
I think the prosecution was trying to say that she did that because that's what he wanted her to do, and he had control of her, and that's what he wanted her to do. So she was just trying to be good to her control.
The problem was they had messages, but her saying, "Oh, I still love you," and boo doo doo.
Exactly.
Like it wasn't like she was like, "Oh, I was trying to get away from him." She like, "Yeah, I went back.
Yeah, but
he beat me up, and 45 minutes later, we went to dinner."
But that's, to your point though, that's hard to prove in a court of law. But we know in reality, abusive relationships that happens all the time. Where somebody will,
and they still stay,
and they still show you because they're messed up.
Yeah.
The abuse got them so messed up. They're like trying to show love because they think it's what they're supposed to do. So to your point, does that prove? I don't know.
Yeah, she get up there and say, I did everything. He didn't really call nobody. I was calling everybody. And then the assistant's like, yeah, when she wasn't calling him, I was calling him. So wait, well, he didn't do none of that stuff. Now, again, he was the CEO. So he was the one telling them what to do. But if we now putting people in jail for flying somebody out, then there's a lot of people they need to round up.
Shoot. Well, I mean, is there a difference? Probably not. There's probably not a difference in flying one person out.
No.
Versus flying 50. I mean, that's like mass.
I don't care if technically, I don't care if it's a buddy pass. you gave them the buddy pass. They came where you was. And then it went from buddy pass to getting some ass. So, it's a whole lot of people that need to go down with Diddy if that's the case.
Well, I just want to say for the record, my personal opinion, Brian, Brian Oliver, Onrea Bell, my opinion is that I think that he was just kind of like a scumbag, you know, to these women. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want to really get into all because it's, like he says, it's a whole another show, a whole another show. So I don't want to get into it too much. But I think, but my question though is even him beating Cassie, you know what I'm saying? And apparently that wasn't the only time he beat her, you know, and they allege that he beat Kim Porter, you know. You can kind of go to my point though is he's gonna be out soon, in my opinion. He's gonna be out, and he's gonna be wanting to make music. And as independent artist, you know, it's kind of like a stock. It's like Diddy's stock is so low, you might have a chance to work with him a little bit easier. You might have more access to him. So no, seriously, straight up. Stock. So would you take an opportunity to work with Diddy if you're an independent artist and he wants to work with you?
They probably would. Most artists probably would. Even if they disagree
with him beating Cassie,
what is transpired.
Most of them
kicking her down the hallway.
I tell you what, maybe not as definitely. I would hope not as many female artists, but it's definitely some male artists, especially rappers. That I mean, you know, they saw some rappers become very successful under Diddy. They're gonna take that. They're gonna run with that opportunity.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but. Yeah.
But even from like
but I don't think he's doing music like that no more. I don't think he cared nothing about music. I looked it up. He don't have no artist signed to him and hasn't had for several years.
Oh no, he had Stacey Barth. They just named me Blue. Stacey Barth, French Montana was over there. MGK.
When this happened, there's nobody signed to him. And as a matter of fact, that's technically none of his labels.
He offloaded everything.
Everything was actually vacant. He started the Love label just so he could release his own album. That was the only reason, because he didn't want to release it under somebody else's umbrella.
Yeah, he offloaded
everything. I looked it up.
Everything.
But I'm saying
he got forced to do that.
What I'm saying is,
he offloaded that thing.
He's gonna go back. Mark my word, he's gonna go back into music.
In some way, fashion.
I can promise you that. Even if it's from a behind the scenes level,